Hey guys, a couple days ago on my Bladefall miner, I ended up getting the Reach of the Council from the Pale Council clear, and yeah, I instantly really wanted to make a build that worked with this bow, and the first thing that came to my mind was crit puncture. So, I made a build loosely around crit puncture, and I knew that I probably wanted to do something a little bit different than the 2 week that I did. So this time, what ended up happening was I played with a lot of skills, and in the end, I found that Frenzy was the best skill to use to scale poison. There's like 3 reasons why, and the first reason is because it has the highest base damage for physical bow attacks. It's higher than puncture itself. That's number one. Number two is Frenzy has the innate bonuses for having Frenzy charges. So if you have Frenzy charges, you're granted basically movement speed and cast speed and damage. However, if you're actually using the skill Frenzy, on top of those bonuses, you get increased physical damage per charge and increased attack speed per charge. So right off the bat, you're with 6 frenzy charges, you're essentially having a skill that attacks 30% faster than puncture. That's the second thing. Not only do you attack faster, you do more base damage, and the 5% increased physical damage is actually global, so it double dips onto your bleed if you apply it from Nauseous Strike. Yeah, so that's pretty much why I ended up running Frenzy instead of Puncture this time. The links that I'm using are Pierce, Slower Proj, and Increase Crit Strikes and Crit Damage. And my damage fluctuates because I use Rallying Cry, but like full buffs and flasks and charges and etc. My DPS is I think 50k right now, so it's a really good single target as well. I actually kill as fast as my Bladefall miners, so we all know how Bladefall miners are exceptionally good at single target. This character right now kills as fast as my Bladefall miner, with some unreliability because it is a crit build, which means accuracy comes into play a lot. So other than that, if you do get lucky, the boss instantly dies. And let's go over the skill tree real quick. It's very similar near this side. There isn't really any other more efficient way you can go about your skill tree over here. However, my build is a little bit different compared to a Dice's build. A Dice prefers to go over here to pick up more life nodes, but what I do is I prefer to come up here to pick up Profane Chemistry, making my life pots really strong. Like I believe this is equivalent to wearing a Belly of the Beast. And then Arcane Chemistry with a flash reduction belt gives me, I think, with a perfect roll, 35% flash charges reduced when I pop a flask. So basically, this Seething Eternal, I can basically use it 5 times, and 5 times is essentially like 2 slots, because 2 slots is like six usages, and with these nodes, I can use like 1 less health pot, and then use an extra utility flask. And like honestly, right now, physical damage isn't really a problem because Dereso's endurance charge generation just covers me with that, and I have Immortal Call. The issue is right now is the newly buffed spell damage mobs. The skeletons that cast Spark are doing like I think 400 damage a hit, and that's like really strong. Especially when you think about 400, that thing is like almost 10%. I think it's like 8% of my life in one spark projectile that doesn't even crit. So what I ended up doing was dropping the basalt for a quartz flask, and just basically going a silver flask and a quicksilver so I can run extra fast for those spells that actually hurt again. So that's pretty much the reason why I go this way rather than going this way. After I fill in the life pool here, I can probably get some more life at thick skin. I completely dropped dirty techniques because it wasn't really worth it. Each point of projectile damage is probably better because it scales both the initial hit and the damage over time. So essentially, if you're talking about efficiency wise, like this 70% damage over time that you gain, excluding the skill effect, it's roughly equivalent to 35% projectile damage. So if I really wanted to get more damage, which I am not lacking right now, I don't really care about the damage, I could easily just come up here and cut across here, get more crit, get a little bit of damage and int here, and then maybe go up here, or just straight up get more proj damage over here, which is like this node right here. 15 is roughly equivalent to this node plus this node, so 2 points. I could do that instead. Regardless, that's pretty much the tree. There isn't really too much to talk about. So let's go out to talk about how it plays like and what's actually happening. So what's actually happening right now is I don't know what I want to run. I do know that on my cast on damage taken, it's going to be the standard 3 link. The 4th link is going to be decoy totem for sure. Just so that I can do like Uber Izaro or something like that. The next big damage upgrade that I could do is actually vulnerability on hit. So you're just gonna have to keep corrupting snake bites until you hit that amazing corruption. And then after you get that corruption, just like, I don't even think you need it because your single target is your AoE as well right now. So my chess piece is like random. It's like another cast on damage taken setup with phase run and like a unlinked blink arrow, and I have a rallying cry here. You can do whatever you guys want. Yeah, the build plays pretty fun. So I'm just popping Blood Rage. I don't need it because you're using Frenzy anyways. I'm just popping it because I like the extra attack speed that it offers, and it's not like I'm degenning. So on maps that I do degen, I just don't run it. So that's pretty much it for the build. Once you start the wind up, you'll notice that right in the beginning it's a little bit slow, but once you get the thing up and running, you're at cap charges and etc. The thing is really fast. So that's pretty much the build. Let me see if I can find Bowl and then show you how the damage looks like. The damage is actually kind of weird because sometimes it requires me to hit him a couple times before he bleeds to death. Like, you'll definitely notice the double bleed versus the non-double bleed. So if you see him like gradually get poisoned to death, that means the bleed wasn't applied. However, if the bleed does get applied, it's like 30% to apply it. He like instantly dies. So I think he's around here somewhere. It looks like he's around here somewhere. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so there. So on the 3rd hit, he got the bleed applied onto him. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the build. So there's no difference. I did up to tier 8s, and yeah, basically everything feels like exactly like Dried Lakes. Anything tier 9 and above, I don't expect it to be too different. Maybe an extra shot or two a couple of times for like tankier mobs. But yeah, I think the build has great potential. Probably tier 15 viable if you can get your life up to like 6,500-ish. It's definitely viable. Yeah, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.